Hoenn is definitely one of the places packed with the coolest Pokemons ever, but that got me thinking, what are the worst Pokemons from this place? To find that out, I hit up our favorite digital buddy, ChatGPT, to ask what would be the worst possible team to beat the game with. And yeah, of course, it gave me a team just as trash as the one from our last video. But this time, I came up with some sick strategies to try and make it through the game without losing my mind. So if you want to find out how this mess went down, grab some snacks, get comfy, and let's see if it's possible to beat Pokémon Emerald with the worst team in the game. Looking at the squad ChatGPT gave me, I decided to start with Luvedisc. Why? Because according to chat, this little heartfish has trash physical and special attack stats. So yeah, we go in with this lovely awful fish, and on our first rival fight, we get kicked. Like not even close. That's when we realized this run was gonna be rough. Next try, I come in with more level and somehow beat him. After getting our Pokeballs from Professor Birch, it's time to catch the next team member. And yeah, if you've played Fire Red, you know we had Caterpie there. Well, in Hoenn, we get this ugly caterpillar instead. Well, we caught it. But I'm not telling you just yet which one of the two evolutions we're getting. Now we go through all the intro stuff, talk to our bald dad, and meet literally the worst rival in Pokemon history. We help him catch his Ralts, evolve our bug into a Silcoon. And if you're smart, you know what that means. Beautifully incoming. According to ChatGPT, this thing has garbage defense, gets obliterated by rock-type moves, and has a terrible move pool. Well, I'm here to prove that the chat was dead wrong. We finally roll into Rustburg City to face Roxanne. We start off with the Butterfly, who's supposedly weak to rock and has no good moves. And guess what? I wreck both Geodudes using Absorb, then comes Nose Pass. Bro, who thought a Pokemon that looks like a freaking Easter Island statue was a good idea? Nose Pass chucks a rock and smashes my Butterfly. So I send in my Heartfish, and with 3 water guns, boom, Mr. Big Nose goes down. First badge, secured. Then we help another old bald dude get his Wingull back, and he takes us to Dewford, time for the next gym. Brawly, the fight type leader. I lead with my Butterfly, and even misclicking, I still manage to paralyze matchup. Then I wipe him out with a few gusts. Second badge, snatched using the same Butterfly that was useless according to the AI. Meditite goes down in 1 gust. Makuhita puts up a bit of a fight but still drops to Gust 2. I try to move forward, but this motherfucker won't let me pass. Then I remember I gotta do that boring Steven quest. Eventually we make it to Slateport. And man, if you've watched my other Hoenn videos, you know Watson's Electric Gym always destroys me. So I head out to grab our next team member, backtrack and catch a Nincada. And if you didn't know, if you evolve Nincada while having an empty slot in your party and a spare Pokeball, you get a bonus Pokemon, Shedinja. And Shedinja only. Has 1 HP forever. Doesn't matter what level. 1 hit and he's dead. But he's immune to everything that's not super effective. So only fire, flying, rock, ghost, and dark moves can touch him. That means we can actually get creative with him. We beat the rival again and grab our next teammate, Minun. Why Minun? Well, ChatGPT says it's garbage because it doesn't like the video and doesn't subscribe. So don't be like, Minun, smash that like button and sub to the channel, bro. Anyway, we pull up to Mobile City for Watson's gym. And yeah, I got destroyed like a million times. But after losing a bunch, I finally figured out a way through. I start with Minun, who I know is gonna blow up. So I switch to Shedinja, who's immune. He swaps to Electrike, and guess what? No moves hit Shedinja. So I destroy him easily. Then comes Magneton. I switch back to Minun and use Mud Slap to lower accuracy. He knocks out Minun, but now his accuracy is trash. And Luvedisc dodges everything and finishes him off. Then comes Manectric, the final boss of pain. He knocks out my Luvetisc, but Shedinja is still alive. And guess what? Manectric doesn't have a single move that can touch him. So, win, easy. To keep going, we have to cross the fiery path. There, I catch a Torkoal because chat said it was slow and bad. Not sure if I believe that, but let's roll with it. We fight through Team Magma and Aqua arguing about red. And Blue Pills of the Volcano beat the Magma leader and reach Laveridge to face Flannery, the Fire-type gym leader. I lead with Love Disc, and one water gun absolutely nukes Numel. Slugma sets up a field hazard, but still goes down in a few turns. Camera up, tanks my water attacks thanks to that barrier, and explodes my Love Disc. Causing a heart failure, I somehow finish it off using Minun and a million mud slaps. Her Torkoal comes in, gets paralyzed, and I take it down eventually. 4th badge, secured. Next we go challenge our dad, the bald normal type gym leader. He starts with Spinda, I start with Shedinja. He switches to Vigoroth, I switch to Love Disc and take him out with water guns. Spinda finishes my Love Disc, so I switch to Torkoal. Then comes the genius play. I use Protect while Slaking's trying to attack, and use the curse move during his lazy turns. Stacked up so many boosts that I 2-shot the gorilla. Spinda drops in 1 hit. Linoon goes down in 2. 5th badge, mine. Turns out Torkoal may be slow, but he ain't useless. Now we get surf and ride across the lake to the Weather Institute. Beat Team Aqua, save the day, and smack the rival again. Then we arrive at one of the coolest cities in Pokemon, Fortree City. After Steven gives us some glasses to see through barriers, it's time to fight Winona. Lost a few times, but then came up with a solid plan using Torkoal. I boost his attack and defense to max, then start one-shotting everyone. Swablu takes us down with Perish Song, but Shedinja and others clean up. Next we head up Mantpire, beat some more goons, then witness Groudon waking up. Eventually we reach Moss Deep City, where we fight the psychic twins Tate and Liza. Lose once, then come back and beat them with targeted focus on Claydol and Solrock. Thunderbolt finishes Xatu, 7th badge. Done! In the Ice Cave, I catch a Snoring. Yeah, I used the Master Ball, cause chat said, you got the idea. It's a bad Pokemon. So yeah, we find the leader of Team Aqua using the red orb to wake up Kyogre. After giving him a beatdown, we realize the legendary Pokemon are literally destroying the world. Then we find Wallace in the Cave of Origin and learn that Rayquaza might be the key to saving everything, so I go after him, wake him up, and head back to Setopolis City. There we get that epic cutscene where Rayquaza shows up and puts everything back in order. That's when we get to fight Hoenn, the water type. Gym leader, I start by using a turn to power up my electric type moves. Then his Whiscash comes out and my Beautifully takes it down. Celio also gets drained by my Butterfly, but then Kingdra knocks out my Pokemon. Though I already knew he didn't have any moves that could hit my Shedinja, so I just patiently cleaned up the Seahorse and crawled on too, since neither could touch Shedinja. And boom! 8 badges in hand. Of course we couldn't move on without smacking down the worst rival ever on Victory Road. Dude is so bad, he loses super easily. Now we reach the Elite Four with this god-awful team. Love Disc, the worst water type in the game, beautifully. The worst flying type, Shedinja, the worst bug type, Minun, the worst electric type, Torkoal, who's basically useless against the league champion, and Glalie, who only really helps against the 4th member of the Elite Four. So let's begin the challenge against Sydney, the dark type trainer. He leads with Mightina, and I start with Torkoal, cause my ability cancels his. I set up Sun on the field, and with just one flamethrower, I roast his Stray. Absol also can't take even 1 hit. When the crab guy comes out, I switch to my electric rat and zap him with a thunderbolt. Shiftry gets his ass clapped by Beautifully, and Cacturn gets one-shot by Silver Wind. First Elite Four battle done easily. Next up is the ghost type trainer. I take down Dusclops with a few bites from Glalie. The next one falls in the same way. Banette burns me but still goes down after a few hits from my Ice Head. Then I bring in Lufdis to set up Rain and Surf over Sableye, and the last Banette gets crit and faints. Another easy win. Then comes the Ice-type trainer. I zap the Walrus with a single Thunderbolt. Torkoal trades hits with Glalie and finally faints it with some rock moves. Then Celeo comes in and knocks out my Torkoal. Out of nowhere, it lands a one-hit KO on my Electric Rat. I bring in Shedinja, but she switches to Glalie and just erases the 1 HP Mon. To make things worse, Glalie self-destructs and takes my soul with it. Sealeo finishes off both my Butterfly and my Glalie, and that's our first loss against the league. In the rematch, things go differently. I start with my Electric Rat, set up Rain, and just thunder everything to death. Now onto the Dragon type guy. I basically sweep his whole team using only Glalie. And bro, if you watch the challenge I did in Pokemon Fire Red, you'll notice a huge difference. In that one, I really struggled with pretty much everyone. Seriously, go check out that video later. And before we fight the champion, I want to invite you to catch our live streams every Tuesday and Friday right here on YouTube. Hit that bell so you don't miss when I go live. Now, let's take on Wallace, the champion of this game. I lead with Minoon and set up Rain. For those who don't know, Thunder, the strongest electric type move, never misses in Rain. So I one-shot his Wailord. Then I one-shot his first Gyarados too. Against Whiscash, I switched to my Butterfly and drained that Catfish with Giga Drain. Unfortunately, Milotic freezes the beautifully with Ice Beam and also freezes my Electric Rat. But I knew it couldn't touch Shedinja, so I brought him in. I used Swords Dance a few times and finished Milotic off with Shadow Balls. Ludicolo drops in one hit, and his last Gyarados tanks a bunch using healing items, but eventually goes down to more Shadow Balls. And just like that, all these Pokemon that were once considered the worst came together and actually made a pretty solid, well-rounded team. Now, if you think there's an even worse team than this one in Hoenn, drop it in the comments. I might take on that challenge in a future video. And while you wait for the next one, why not check out this video where I tried to beat Pokemon Fire Red with the worst team in the game?